Oh,
You don't even know. Okay, that's fine. All right, guys, what's up? Back with another episode of Soccer Talk with Lauren. First one was pretty fun, went pretty well. So here we are again. What's up, Lauren?
not much. How are you?
I'm okay. Living the lockdown life. I was watching an AFCON game last night. For those who don't know, the AFCON is actually on Fubo, so that's pretty epic.
I think they're
And yeah.
also streaming a lot of it on YouTube too.
Oh, really? So like
Yeah.
for free, eh? Okay,
Yeah.
that's good to know. I mean, the thing with Fubo is you can record the games and just watch them later, so it's pretty sweet. Like I was watching Morocco Ghana, and I'm like, these guys, the players are moving a bit slow, and then I check the weather in Cameroon midday. It's like 31 degrees. I'm like, oh yeah, this makes sense. So
Totally
that's
understandable.
that's kind of hard. But yeah, speaking of national teams, our first episode, we talked a little bit, we reminisced a little bit. Yeah, you can see where we're from here. So by how pale we might be. Yeah, we reminisced a little bit about TFC and just like general soccer memories. I think we both have a lot to talk about for Canadian national soccer. Today we'll talk about the men's team. I mean, the men's and women's teams, like they deserve their own episodes. They've both been making us very proud. I mean, to be fair, the women's team has been making us proud for much longer. Shout out to Desiree Scott, now that she knows who I am, but I'm born the same day as her as well.
What is with your birthdays?
I'm born the exact, and I'll tell you this, I made years ago when I was first getting on Instagram, I made a little side-by-side photo of us. Like this is like, it sounds like actually quite weird now, but she commented on it. So there you go.
Nice.
Cool stuff.
Love it.
Yeah. All right. So I mean, there's so many places to start with the Canadian men's national team. Let's start with some bad memories because it's been more bad than good lately. I got quite a few, but you have any that come to mind?
Yeah, I feel like the obvious one was, I think it was 2014 World Cup qualifiers, were like the last game day of the cycle, and they lost 8-1 to Honduras.
Yeah.
Like, I think if you say ask any Canada fan, that's probably the one that comes to mind. And I remember specifically, I was at university in my like apartment room watching the game by myself, and like every goal that went in, it was just it was never ending, and I think it's still traumatizing.
That was the one I remember that distinctly. We needed a draw to go to the hex, if I recall the situation, right? Or do we need to win?
We ended up finishing a point behind them and Panama. So yeah, I think a win probably would have been best, but maybe it just
we might have been able to make through the draw. Yeah, there's that one. I also remember a game at home at BMO against Jamaica, like a game we needed to win. And I think like Pat Onstead like screwed up a corner kick. It went directly in or something like that. And I remember like Julian de Guzman said, like, we can't be losing these types of games like this. And I actually met Julian in the on the subway, because like that's what I want to talk about next is meeting people. So I met Julian on the subway one time, like years ago. He was going to get some suit fitted when he was with TFC. I was like asking about his brother and stuff. So that was a pretty cool experience. You encountered any of the men's national team players?
Yes, quite a few.
Okay.
And I think it was like around that time, like the qualifying for 2014, there was some games at BMO. Okay. And you know how they like all used to come in and out the same like entrance? I guess like went and kind of hung around there. And
nice. That's why you're a super fan.
Yeah, I think at this time it was like, I know Simeon Jackson signed it back when he was in the squad.
Nice. I've spoken with him on Instagram, just saying. He's replied to DMs I've sent him. So that's my claim to fame. Same with Junior Hoylett. When Junior just got on Insta, I messaged him like, I was like, yo, is this like really you? He's like, yeah, what's up? Like, okay. Cool. Really well, you never know, right? I mean, someone could easily just pop up and make an account. But so like to that point, basically, like I'm admittedly, I probably am like a much bigger fan of Canadian men's national team than of TFC, although like obviously I support TFC and I'm knowledgeable, whatever. But they actually stay at a hotel near where I live. So like, I'm gonna just go through some of these memories because like I'm just obviously very proud of them all. So I've seen Jonathan Osorio at Starbucks. I've talked to John Herdman, I think also at Starbucks. I've walked by Ian Hume years ago. I've walked by Alfonso Davies, and I was at BMO Field were you at the Canada USA our win in the friendly? Yeah. I was like, my cousin and I were like this close to getting a photo with Davies, but there was a belligerent guy beside us who ruined it. Nice. And that was painful. That was very painful. I'm trying to think who else I came across.
Met any like in out in the wild, I'll say.
Yeah.
I've talked to Lorea's wife on Instagram quite a few times, if that counts.
We honestly
about sliding in DMs.
has yeah, no, that's really cool. We love Richie. Definitely like one of the players making us proud. Obviously, like you know, he's Toronto talent, so even extra special for a big fan like yourself. Has he like Nottingham Forest actually just beat Arsenal the other day? That's his team. I don't know. I don't think he was playing that day.
No,
No.
I was just watching, which I mean makes sense. Like TFC has been out of playing right for quite a while, so he probably needs a little bit to get back into match fitness, I'd think.
Yeah. It's funny because I've been saying, because like who's your favorite, like your favorite national team players right now? It's a tough one. It's a crazy time, right? Because like you can't even choose, you know what I mean?
I honestly think I would pick Jonathan David. I know the easy answer is Davies, and of course, like who doesn't love him? But I think personally, I'd pick Jonathan David, and then I'd like have a soft spot for Oso, for Lorea. Oso especially because I feel like he's taken on like a big leadership position with the Canadian national team.
That goal he scored too.
Yeah, love scoring. Yeah, and like I just think he like adds kind of leadership that has maybe been missing a little bit in the past couple of years, and kind of like brings the team together.
Yeah, I agree. It's a tough one. We have such a potent like attack now with Davies, Larin, and Jonathan David. I was like saying for years, and the funny thing is, I actually didn't give Larin enough respect, but I was like telling everyone like Jonathan David, this guy's going to be the top goal scorer in Canadian history by the time he's like 21, 22. I think Larin actually has more goals right now. Yeah. And now, you know, I gotta always flex if I've like met or interact with a player. I've literally kicked the ball around with Kyle Larin. I'm gonna tell you a funny story. I was wearing this shirt that day, and I was with my cousin Christian, who plays soccer with us, and Kyle Larin was there with some people, and I was like, we were kicking the ball around. I was like, oh, yo, Kyle, what's up? He's like, oh, yo, I don't remember you, because like I had my Canada shirt on. He's like, oh, no, I'm not a staff or anything. I'm just wearing this shirt. I'm just a fan. So yeah, it was pretty funny. Yeah, we did some long balls. It was good.
Larin still tied for goals with Dero for like all time.
Okay.
And I think Jonathan David is tied for like, or he is fifth, but there's like a tie obviously for first, Dero and then a tie for like third, basically.
It's gonna be interesting to see who finishes more between them.
David's only been really on the scene for like 3 and a bit years now, 3.5, and the fact that he's already that high up. Like you have to imagine he's gonna probably overtake Larin at some point, if not like get up to that number 1 spot pretty quickly. Yeah,
he's quite a bit younger. I mean, yeah, I'm proud of Larin. I mean, obviously he's doing work in Turkey. It's a tough time now. I think Besiktas isn't doing as well this year. The Turkish league is kind of like.
Well, they just won some cup though.
Okay. Like literally like in the last week or two, you're saying like a cup. Oh, okay, that's possible. Yeah, I mean the league position not good. They won the league last year, if I recall, which is like.
Yeah, they did.
You know, I mean, to think for us to have, you have Jonathan David at Lille, won the league. You have Alphonso Davies, Bayern, won the league. You have Kyle Larin, Besiktas, won the league. That's
Atiba plays on Besiktas.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Atiba's been around forever. Yeah, literally. Yeah, I remember him from like the Copenhagen days.
He scored in their win the other day. I'm pretty sure he scored for Besiktas and then scored an own goal as well.
Okay, that's okay. We'll like let that one go. That's all good. So this is another interesting question. I have someone in mind for this, but so we know the conventional players, like we went through some of like the heavy hitters, but who impressed you the most that maybe actually there's actually probably 2 in my head, but like who's impressing you the most that maybe was like less conventional or more low key in like the last year or 2, maybe doesn't get as much credit as they deserve?
Okay, so I actually have 3.
Okay.
So I think
overlap probably.
Eustáquio.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Yeah.
Crazy, like just some of his like intelligence when it comes to like where to place the ball. I think he's gonna be huge as he gets older.
Yeah. And he came out of nowhere. Like I wasn't even really aware of him.
Yeah, you know? And I don't think it was even guaranteed that he was gonna really choose Canada as well.
Right. Okay. I'm glad he did.
Options, yeah. And then Alistair Johnson, I think, has been really exciting. I mean, like he pretty much plays a similar role as Richie, but I think he's been like really exciting to stay. And in MLS, he's been really good as well.
Right. He plays for Columbus.
And so he was with Nashville, but he actually just got traded to Montreal.
Oh, okay. So I guess we'll see more of him in slightly unfriendly terms.
I have 4 now. Sorry.
Okay, that's okay. Keep going. Yeah. I got one in mind now.
Sam Adekugbe.
Yeah, 100%. He was like,
exciting.
oh, what was that game where he was just like doing all the skill moves? I thought like he was doing what game was that? You know what I'm talking about? I can't remember which exact game it was. That was impressive.
And I think like the concern with him at first was that he could be like a little inconsistent, especially with his club team. Like he'd have a couple really good games and then
Right.
through a bit of a slump. But I feel like with us, at least in the last cycle or two, he's been really good. And then I think obvious choice we can't forget is Tajon Buchanan.
I did forget. Oh, I can't wait to watch some Bruges games. That's
Yeah.
like that's the thing. Like that's where we're at right now. It's like incredible to think we just pull 4 players out of thin air and they're all performing at a high level. Oh yeah. Well, I'm very lucky because I know we've talked about DAZN, you and I before, but DAZN plays Club Bruges games, and so we'll have a great opportunity to watch. They play Belgian league games, so I'll have an opportunity to watch Buchanan play. Oh yeah, he's impressive. Like he is impressive. Damn, he's like an amazing player.
I feel like he's come not necessarily out of nowhere, but I think his like trajectory has really, just kind of shot forward in the last little while.
Right. I didn't look into this. I probably should have. Someone mentioned it. Is he related to Kadisha Buchanan?
I don't think so. No.
Oh, okay. Someone told me that. I'm gonna have to talk to them about that. Then
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
For some reason, someone told me that like, with a high level of confidence, but I didn't even look into it. So yeah. Okay. Now that's perfectly reasonable. So we've got a game coming up on January 31st, home game against the States.
Yeah, 30th.
30th.
But we also have a game in Honduras on the 27th, 3 days.
Oh, that's
gonna be.
That's winning that, like given the table at the moment, given that historical game would just be, and we like, I mean, Honduras is okay. Let's put it like we can win that. We can win that game. Hopefully there's no COVID nonsense like with positives and stuff like that.
It'll be a little tough because the training camp did get canceled. They were supposed to have one, I think like around now, but it got canceled just because like David got COVID. I think Davies just got COVID. Like it was just kind of too much, but I hope it doesn't affect like the MLS players too much because this will have been, now a couple months that they've been without playing time, especially all the TFC ones because they exited early. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, the US is a big test, but again, like I think Canada's in a good position that even if they don't get the max amount of points from this cycle, it's not the end of the world. They think they have room to like play a little bit.
Yeah. Between 2 and 4 points, I think we can live with that. Yeah, we are in like a very comfortable position from that perspective.
And it's funny now that we can say like, oh yeah, we'd be okay with like 4 points, whereas like back in the day that would be like remarkable. Like I mean, there was tournaments before like Gold Cups where they would exit in the first round because they just didn't score any goals, and now it's like, yeah, I guess we can settle for not getting the max amount of points.
This is bringing back past pain now. Do you remember that game, a Gold Cup semifinal against the States? I think Ian Hume scored, and then we had a goal called off for offside. I think Atiba might have scored.
Atiba goal. That was
that was painful. I remember that.
Yeah, so they were tied 2-1, or not tied 2-1, sorry, losing 2-1 to the States, and scored in like the 92nd minute or something like that, and the ref called offside, but it wasn't offside.
I remember. I remember his he was like his face. Yeah, you got a good memory. Yeah, no, I remember that pretty well, but that was like one of the more painful memories over the years. Yeah. But damn, yeah, I mean, we have a lot to look forward to. I didn't even realize we were playing Honduras on the 27th. Do you have any like random, like, you're like a friggin' encyclopedia of knowledge. Like I fancy myself like pretty up to date, but you're impressive. Any random bits and bobs that Canadian soccer fans should be aware of?
I don't know. I feel like something relevant to you and I for our soccer. My first ever Canada game that I went to was at Varsity Stadium in 2000 against Trinidad and Tobago.
They used to play games back there.
1-0.
Damn, 2000. Who scored that day? I remember Alan Bunbury, and his son plays as well. He didn't pick Canada though. I mean, funny enough, we don't even kind of need him.
I mean, when he was in his prime, like I think he's still kicking around MLS, but when he was like good, I think it was like definitely a sore spot. I know, like, because he played for the US quite a bit, and like Canada fans would give him quite a hard time because his dad Alex is like such a legend. But
yeah, he is. I remember him back. That goes way back. And then like Paul Pesky Solito, I remember that guy. But that's an interesting question, because even Junior Hoylett, who now is like, he's still, he's on the periphery a little bit, not a guaranteed starter, but he was at one point debating if he was going to join or he was going to play out for another country, not playing football at all.
Yeah. And that was like quite a few years battle, I think, to convince him. And I think like one thing that should definitely be noted about this era, especially since Herdman has come in as coach, is the squad's ability, like whether it's John Herdman who does most of it or staff behind the scenes, but their ability to convince players to commit to Canada.
Right.
And just like didn't happen before, right? Like even
Jonathan.
Lately.
Yeah, that's a big one too. When he came on, I'm like, this guy, is this guy a Chelsea loanee? Like, that's a big deal.
Akinola, right? Like, because he was left and Canada training camps quite a bit back and forth, and then for him to finally commit to Canada was seen as a pretty big deal.
Yeah. Well, and then the big one, this was right around the Hex time. It was with Jonathan de Guzman when he chose Holland, and I think he ultimately, he was I don't know if he's still playing now, but he was like a real talent. I mean, good for him. I mean, he got to, he went to Holland at a young age, so that's all good. And he got to play in a World Cup with Holland, and he wouldn't have been enough anyway back then. So like in retrospect, it wouldn't have mattered. But that was a big one.
Hard feelings. I specifically remember he came to a TFC game, I believe it was, when Jonathan played for us. Yeah. Or sorry, Julian played for us, and that he had been like interviewed, and he was wearing like a Canada jacket, and was talking about Canada's team and whatever, and then like commits to the Netherlands not that long after, and that was
right.
Salty about that.
It's a tough one. Like as I'm older now, and like you realize the situation. I mean, it would have been. It's not this Canada team that he's turning down, right? It's like there's almost. I would be 100% confident he would have played for this Canada team. He was turning down a team that, the prospects were not great.
The thing is, like at the time, like I mean, since Canada's been around, like that's been the thing, right? Even like Hargreaves choosing England over Canada, all that stuff. But like. Yeah. Until those players start saying yes, like how do you really expect the team to get better, right? Like I think we're lucky right now that we have great talent and people that have chosen to play for Canada, but I wonder
depth, it's not like we miss one player and it's like, oh well, here we go, what are we gonna do now?
Some of those players chose to play for Canada earlier if the team would have gotten to where they are maybe a little bit earlier, like but
yeah. Okay, so we're both. It's funny. We're both wearing Canada shirts from different manufacturers. I also have the Canada shirt, like the Adidas Team Geist one, which is probably one of my favorites. You know the one I'm talking about, with like the numbers that have the lines in them. Yeah, I gotta show you after. But between Nike and Umbro, like I'm big on like which sports brands fit the best. Like, what's your favorite jersey historically for like look and fit or whatever? Like,
honestly, I'm a big sucker, and I think many people are, for like the new Canada jerseys. Like
they are nice,
simple, but like the sleeves are just amazing, and like the black is so sleek, but the red itself too, like because the sleeves are almost like a little pink.
There's a special like design, right?
Yeah. I think they're so smart. There was another one a couple years ago that I think had like some black on it, and I like never got one, and I regret it to this day, but also very smart.
Yeah. Well, you got to sign. Do you know who signed your shirt, by the way?
Simeon Jackson for sure.
I had his jersey on Norwich, by the way. I like spent so much money on it because like I was like young. I'm like, let me go buy this and pay a ton of customs, and we both know I have an online shopping problem that persists to this day. So anyway, go ahead.
I have an album somewhere on my computer with like a photo of each person that signed it. So I'll dig it out and get back to you. I think maybe like Ian Hume probably signed it. He was around then. I think Tosaint was still there.
Yep.
Maybe Oso, I think when he was just starting. But definitely some good ones.
You gotta figure out who signed it. We'll put in the description because I'm sure everyone wants to know. I gotta like in my head whenever I do YouTube, because like I spend a bunch of time on Instagram. Like I'm always wanting to say link in the bio, but it's like not. It's like in details in the description.
Yeah.
So I'm still like working through not messing that up. But yeah, all right. Look, this was another awesome episode. Canadian men obviously just making us really proud, and we got a lot to look forward to. You know what I mean? It's like these are big games, and it's like I want to be cautiously optimistic. You know, you don't want to invest too much, you know, but it's like we're so
been hurt so much before.
yeah, exactly. It's like we're so close. So you know what? Yeah, this is another good chat, Lauren. And next time, I guess we'll very likely do the women's team. And I got, as you can guess, I got fun stories for that too. And
film our next episode in Hamilton at the game.
I'm sure I'll be very practical and the obvious choice of what to do. Maybe we can take a photo there. But yeah, about filming a full episode, we'll see. I don't think I have quite the equipment yet. My cheap Amazon half broken microphone may not be sufficient, but let me see what I can do if I can bring a photo crew with me, like Arsenal fan TV outside the stadium, for interviewing random people. Was I gonna say anything else? No, that's awesome. Like, thanks for coming again. This was an awesome recording, and we'll catch you soon.
All right.
Later, guys.
Yeah.